quit my corporate job to travel the world. I went to 10 different countries and 9 different states in 8 months. And a lot of people wanted to know why I did it, but most importantly, they wanted to know how I did it. So I came up with tips that helped me, and hopefully they can help you. But disclaimer, these are tips that helped me. Hopefully they can help you, but it's not a guarantee. When you express that you want to quit your job to travel the world, it's like the world is ending. Make a plan and write it down. A part of my plan was working as much as possible. My manager would ask me to work on Saturdays, Sundays, holidays, and I said, yup. I worked as much as possible. I would work 70-hour weeks, Sunday to Sunday. If they needed someone to work, I was working. I also eliminated as many expenses as possible. I moved out of my apartment 7 months prior to me quitting my job and moved in with my adopted parents, where I only had to pay $400 rent. I also adjusted my 401k contribution. I think at that time, like before I decided to quit my job, I was giving up to 10%. I made it 0. I needed more money to save for my trip, so I just stopped contributing altogether. And then I also had to make sure that my credit was intact. I eliminated all of my debt before I quit. All of it, because you will need your credit. And I'll explain why. Make your money work for you. When I first started my corporate job, my friend challenged me to save at least $1,000 every single month. And to help me achieve that goal, I wrote in my journal each month, and next to that month, I wrote down the dollar amount that I'm supposed to have in my savings once I achieved that goal. And with that money, I was able to invest in cryptocurrency before it tanked, real estate, a small construction business, and I was also able to trade in the stock market. But aside from that, the thing that I think helped me the most was using my credit. Yeah, I have money in my checking account, but I never swipe my debit card. I only swipe my credit card. The only time that I go in my checking account is when I'm transferring money to either my savings or transferring money to pay off my credit card for that statement. That allowed me to request credit increases, which made my utilization lower. And having good credit was a true safety net for when I traveled and quit my job. Use your resources. I use my resources to get things for as little as possible or for free. I use Google to find my flights, to price my flights, and to also get flight notifications for when flight prices went down. I had a Delta American Express so that I can get flying benefits, and a lot of my flights were free. I also linked that American Express with Airbnb and Lyft, and that's something I use throughout all my travels. So every time I use Airbnb and every time I use Lyft, I got points. So remember when I said I requested credit increases? That pays off when it comes to using your resources. So when it came to getting group flights, paying for the Airbnb, paying for group excursions, I offered to pay for all of that on my credit card and just had everybody pay me back with Cash App or Zelle, just to get points. And when I tell you that was extremely beneficial, that's why you request for the increase so your credit limit can handle those big purchases. So keep in mind that I have to go to the airport all the time, and the airport's 30 minutes away. So I made use of Lyft and public transportation. So Lyft has this subscription, a smart savings plan, where you can pay $15 a month and get 25% off of all your rides, and it's unlimited amount of rides. And then our train system here is called the Tri-Rail. So what I would do is take a Lyft to the Tri-Rail, and then take the Tri-Rail from point A to point B, and then take the shuttle from that Tri-Rail station to the airport. That saved me tons of money. And also, I'm an avid Spirit traveler, so all of my flights that I had for state to state, they were penny flights. Penny. They were penny flights. But it's a whole nother video. I'll show you how to get penny flights with Spirit. Last but not least, you have to be able to maintain. So a lot of people wanted to know, like, what did you do? How did you get money in between your travels? I tapped into my talents. So I did hair. I can braid hair. And I also, a lot of those things that I invested in when I was working, I got those profits while I was traveling. So what I did as well was not only did I braid hair, but I became a Lyft driver. And with Lyft, they actually have this thing called Lyft Drive Express, where if you don't have a car, you can drive their car, pay a weekly amount with rides, and then everything after that is profit. So in between my trips, I did Lyft. And then when I was done, or if it was time for a trip, I just returned the car. And then when I came back, I would get a new car. And that helped tremendously. Oh, here's a referral, just in case you want to quit your job and travel. You can use my referral for Lyft and get guaranteed money. These are tips that worked for me. I'm not telling you to quit your job, then use my tips to go travel the world, and then if something happens, you come back and blame me. These tips works for me, but hopefully they can work for you as well. If you have any questions, comment below. Be sure to visit my website at tkowanderlust.com. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on my Instagram at tkowanderlust. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.